online advertising is growing and at an exponential pace is just not news. What, however, seems noteworthy is the barrage of pop-up ads that account for what one calls digital or online advertising. While the world talks about engagement and targeted advertising, we in India are very happy following the most primitive form of promotion, pop-up ads. I'm sure none of you are alien to the concept of ads popping up when you're trying to access something. For digital agencies and publishers, it obviously means money. But the question we're asking is, why are Indian clients still biting into this bait? Do they really believe a random pop-up ad is going to bring them business? Vijay Ravi finds out.
Pop-up advertising is seen on a variety of online platforms. Be it on a desktop, a laptop or a mobile phone, these advertisements have become completely unavoidable. They may use different names like interstitials, roadblocks, site takeovers and rollouts, but the thing they all have in common is that they all act as irritants.
Pop-up ads, they're quite irritating.
Pop-up ads quite distracting.
They trouble me when I'm trying to do any form of work on the internet.
I think they are really very annoying. I think it's very distracting.
Pretty annoying.
All these stupid ads, just irritating.
It's a waste of time.
Sometimes whenever I'm working on anything important and suddenly there's a pop-up ad, I feel like smashing my screen.
We cannot just go through the content or scan it properly because you have those ads all over. It's on the top, it's on the bottom, it's on the left or the right.
Something urgent, some urgent work, and when something comes up, you obviously get irritated because you can't do your work, you can't get done with your work.
I think that they shouldn't be there at all because as it is, we are not paying attention to them. On every website I open, it's like Centurion in book it. Even on Flipkart, you check something and it pops up everywhere.
You're looking out for something and then these things keep coming up and sometimes you get misled by such ads and claims. So yeah, it's irritating as well as a waste of time as well.
I think it's quite annoying and frankly not a lot of people even open them up when they come on their websites and it really doesn't serve any purpose.
Clearly, pop-up ads are not appreciated. But that hasn't stopped them from appearing on our screens. Advertisers, media agencies, publishers and ad networks are all allowing these ads to bombard their viewers despite the potential backlash it could have. With media spends on digital increasing, the number of ads online are also increasing, making the user experience increasingly unpleasant.
I'm not entirely against takeover ads, and I think if creatively done, they can be interesting for the reader too. I think the ones that get irritating are where you find it very difficult to identify and locate the close button. Where you now that is very different. Whereas if the close button is easy to find and you can quickly move on, it's no different than the skip button on YouTube ad.
It's a perfect advertising opportunity. So it's sold also and it's bought also clearly with the clear intention of ensuring that your ad is not missed. It's like the front page of newspaper. It's like the first spot on one of the key programs on television, and there is a the publisher earns from that. They are able to support better content because of the advertising money. And I don't think that consumer really suffers that much. I mean, they are normally there only for like what, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. It's not like they are there forever, and you can click cross and get out of it.
When it comes to taking responsibility for these intrusive ads, advertisers, publishers and media agencies all play the blame game, saying that they are not responsible for the ads. Both advertisers and media agencies say that the publisher is responsible for these intrusive ads. But as it is their only source of revenue, publishers feel that advertisers are backing them into a corner and demanding intrusive ad space.
The responsibility for what advertising inventory exists rests entirely with the platform owners. Even where an advertiser or an agency might think of something and they come to a platform owner with a proposal, the final decision to create it or not rests with the platform owner. So the inventory responsibility rests with them. The content that goes onto it, of course, is the advertisers.
Good quality sites with a long-term view don't annoy the users, don't put too many ads, and they have a much more sustainable strategy. Some good publishers put no ads at all on mobile, but publishers who are more short-term, who feel like they'll just make more money by putting a lot of ads, they look for short-term revenue, and they don't see the cost of the poor user experience.
Publishers essentially are forced, in order to ask for a premium on certain types of advertising, they are almost forced into offering more of these innovations or so-called innovations, and it's the only way they can survive. In general, when you're playing at a mass scale, you're competing with the likes of Google and you're competing with their rates, so it's very difficult for publishers to get a premium.
Indian media buyers and India marketing managers, believe that they want to squeeze every dollar and every rupee more out of advertising, and they want their ads to be even more intrusive, not knowing that people really have a sense of disgust towards something that comes up in their face. So a short-sighted marketing manager, a short-sighted media buyer, these are the people who push for more value out of advertising by having more intrusive and obnoxious advertising. It's really counterproductive, but I don't think they have gotten that yet.
As the number of ads increase, the number of people using ad blockers is also increasing. And with Apple planning to launch an inbuilt ad blocker in their next operating system, several of these ads will be blocked. This will drastically change the revenue model in this form of advertising.
As a publisher, my reaction would be that I will not serve my content to a reader who's got an ad block on. It's very simple. I'm looking around for JavaScripts to be able to enable this, or any script that ensures that readers who've got ad blockers are not able to read my content. Because in India especially, readers don't want to pay to read, and in a situation with unlimited supply, they will always find other alternatives to read the same content. Or they might choose for a slightly poorer option of content, but they don't want to pay. So advertising is my only source of revenue in that sense.
So ad blockers are a natural reaction to people overdoing it, but I have a hard time imagining that the entire world will be advertising free. There's 40,000 crores of advertising in this country. If advertising gets blocked and advertisers don't provide that funding, then who is going to provide those 40,000 crores to the content creators? I don't think the paying public is going to generate that amount of money.
Apple is going to really build an ad blocking into its own browser, just basically saying, I want to give my users a good user experience, kill all the ads. So this is going to be a challenge for marketers if people can't see the kind of ads that they're accustomed to, but it's a very good challenge. Advertising is really not a natural thing. You must be able to get word of mouth happening for you for what you're worth, as opposed to saying, I'm going to hire Shah Rukh and say he drives an i10. Things which are non-credible. So the nature of advertising will change, and that's a good thing.
With the rise of ad blockers and consumers' clear disregard for pop-up ads, this model of advertising is in dire need of a revamp. But what will the future model look like?
Brands, typically we find increasingly there is a trend that they are turning into publishers. Because consumers are avoiding advertising, they are getting into a space where whatever they are talking is firstly interesting to the consumer. So either it is they are trying to occupy spaces, either it is of utility, or it is entertaining, or it is educational. So basically the brands are trying to fit into consumer needs, create content which something the consumer wants to see, and then subtly you sort of bung in the brand message over there.
One would be native ads. They are growing, and I think they will exponentially grow. Second is brands investing in content. In digital realm, it's actually quite cost efficient to create content, unlike any other traditional media. So more and more brands should invest in creating content for advertising.
Increasingly, the best way to market a product is to have something intrinsically remark-worthy and viral, potentially viral about the product itself. So a lot of the marketing might is going into making the product more useful. So in effect, advertising is being replaced in many cases by a better product, because we now have a network called the internet where if you've got a cool product, people get to hear about it. That's the first option. The second option is the advertising, if you were to say, use that word, is getting much more viral and much less driven by media placements. The third level is really where, interesting things, where we come to things like content marketing, which is you create a bunch of interesting content that gets viral, that gets shared. 5 things about X that are interesting, 10 things about Y that you did not know, whatever you call listicles and so on and so forth, which are really kind of advertising masquerading at content, but really trying to offer interesting content.
Let's hope that advertisers, media agencies and publishers are all up for the challenge of making online advertising a more pleasant experience. The online platform is one with unlimited scope for innovative advertising. And with options like sponsored content and native advertising, there's no reason to be bombarded by ads on every single web page.